This is the opening bell for the first trading day in the week of October. Is the final trading day, the 31st. So just put this as you see the income in the month of November starting tomorrow, and I'm down to technically 60 days, the final 60 days of 2022. Checking the market, rough ride for Nigeria, started the week a bit positive. Then from midweek, the market started to nosedive. We finished 1.6%. Yesterday, the Nigerian stock market now down, up just 2.4%. Since the start of the year, we've seen roughly 19% when the market peaked in the early part of the second quarter. Right now, we're trading water since the month of October started. Sell-off across the big names on the Nigerian market, despite earnings that we saw last week from big banks and non-banking names as well. But let's look into the BRVM, softening a little bit, but holding the 200 level at 201.5 on Friday. Sunday is the start of the business week and market week in Cairo. The stock market went up 0.26% as the Egyptian authorities continue to work on the $3 billion latest facility from the IMF and what that means for the financial markets, in particular the currency, and how investors are taking that into the equity side of things. The Nairobi Securities Exchange President William Ruto is trying to kickstart his own administration. A lot of things to juggle. This NSE fell roughly 1% on Friday. The final full week in the month of October, 128.43 readings, still below the 130 level. The South African market fell by 1.1% on Friday, 66,000, with clock 67 sometime during the week when the global risk-on sentiment was really strong. So we pick up a few headlines just to get you started for the new week on the economic, business and investment side, with the MSCI, the Morgan Stanley Capital International, placing the Kenyan market on the watch list of troubled financial markets or the equities market unfit for foreign investors. In the meantime, GameStop says it's going to close down all the stores in Tanzania, Uganda, Nigeria, Kenya, and Ghana, effective December 25th. It's going to be on Christmas Day. GameStop in South Africa has been looking for buyers for these stores across those countries, but yet to find any buyers for them. Anything can change between now and December 25, that is. But the KCB Kenya says it's keeping one eye on the Ethiopian markets. The financial markets or the banking sector reform specifically done by Prime Minister Abiy in Ethiopia, one of the continent, is attracting investors. Somalia says it's planning to lower electricity costs as the recovery project was being flagged off. So let's check in with West Africa and, of course, Nigeria's decision to redesign and reissue the top three currency notes, still gathering a whole lot of criticisms and commendations. Over the weekend, President Buhari formally says that he granted approval to the central bank to reissue the currency. That came in contrast to what the finance minister, Zainab Ahmed, said also at the weekend, at the start, that she was not informed while she was speaking to the parliament. A nail-biting week, however, for the currency. The Naira nosedive. Investors took that a bit off also on the stock market. A sell down throughout the week. Yields moved up on treasury bills and other treasury bonds instruments on the week. The EFDB says it's one financing Agropole Center in Senegal. That's about 63.6 million euros. While OPEC's 2022 World Oil Outlook report will be launched today at the ADIPEC. That's the Abu Dhabi's International Petroleum Conference and Exposition, which is taking place in Abu Dhabi. All the biggest names in the world, including OPEC, Africa Energy Chamber, and every other names, state oil corporations, are attending this high-profile event in the Middle East starting today till Wednesday. And Ghana's President Nana Akufo-Addo gave a State of the Nation address last night where he spoke about the relationship with the IMF. The latest staff mission of the IMF have concluded their meetings. Another team is expected in Accra in the near future. President Nana Akufo-Addo, administration has been asked to rejig the country's debt level to about 55% of the GDP over a couple of years moving forward. And then there's a whole lot to be done. The city is currently under pressure, down roughly 60% in value against the US dollar since the year started, the worst currency in the world for the year 2022 so far. Quite a whole lot to do. Some ministers of parliaments, are requesting for the exit of the finance minister, Akufo-Addo, and that is also part in the news. Quite a whole lot that Mr. President put in his State of the Nation address last night to Ghanaians who some were protesting in the last couple of weeks regarding the state of affairs, inflation, the depreciation, fast depreciation of the currency, and very high cost of living. So I'm taking you straight to Southern Africa. And of course, it's been a very tough time as far as Eskom is concerned in terms of the load shedding. So about 53 gigawatts of renewable energy will be needed to address the power crisis. That's what Eskom says. Where will he get that from? Got a bit of a reprieve from the government, 400 billion rand in debt, got about 100 billion from the mini budget, which was announced late last week by Enoch Godongwana, the finance minister. That bailout, the team reworking the debt and the management of Eskom is also already on ground. We're not seeing any significant progress, at least yet. But let's see if the renewable window will be able to save this South Africa's largest utility company. And South Africa and Indonesia says they got $1 billion to close the coal plants and support South Africa's transition to a clean energy ahead of COP27 summit in Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt, later next month. We're starting that month tomorrow. Namibia projects inflation to be around 6.1% this year, while MTN is looking to invest $150 million in network connectivity across its footprints in sub-Saharan Africa. And of course, it ends in North Africa, where it all started, according to Egypt. Yes, Capital Economics says in the Egyptian currency, the pound is expected to fall by 18% this year to around 24 to the dollar by the end of 2023. That is, or perhaps that could happen sooner. Before the end of the year, we've seen the pound, Egyptian pound, down around 12% when the $3 billion deal with the IMF was secured just before Egypt went on weekend on Thursday. Morocco's Africa Gas says it's bought Total Energy subsidiary in Mauritania, where Morocco says it has imposing taxes on gifts and purchases worth around 2,000 Moroccan dirhams if you are traveling within the country. And Infinix in Morocco has launched new flagship 020 and Hot 20 into the market. Those are the series of its latest phones in Casablanca, Morocco's financial and economic nerve center, where they expect sales of those products to be on the upbeat due to strong demand. Whatever you're demanding, whatever you're trading, get your business week started. And this is how we effectively closed off on October. Let's see what November brings, everyone. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.